Computer. Here we go.
Good morning, campers / oilers. Welcome to the Gina and Bex chat show. No kidding. Okay, so today is going to be all about cooking, baking, and potentially cocktails with your essential oils. So if you haven't explored using your essential oils in your kitchen yet, hopefully this morning, this kind of 40-50 minutes of chit chat is going to give you some ideas on how you can spruce up your, I don't know, Sunday morning brunch or your evening meal tonight, perhaps. We'd love to hear if you do implement any of these things and how successful they were. So Gina has helped me prepare this fab little slideshow, and she's completely in charge of navigating this. She's wonderful at it. So
we already know. Don't pretend.
All right. So, okay. Sorry. My kids aren't here, and my friend just messaged me who has them with information, but it's all good. They're alive and there's no rush to pick them up. Woohoo. Okay. So, the first slide that we've got here is, I guess, something that people would often think, well, maybe they don't even think about using essential oils, but you should. So why should we cook with essential oils? Next slide. Yeah, there we go. And so it's pretty obvious, really. They're going to add flavor to any kind of dish, and it's a safe, clean way to do it. So as with everything, our products that we're buying from the grocery stores, things like that, they're often not as clean as we would like. So you need to keep your eye out with products that you're using, and then why not use your essential oils, because they're readily available and we know they're clean. Also, we know that essential oils have great health benefits, so why not add them to your dishes and, I don't know, be eating yourself to a healthier you. So you can experience the internal benefits of the oils that we're often using them for, maybe in a capsule, or maybe you're buying the soft gels. You can add them to your food and also boost that body system. They're known as being safe and natural ingredients. I kind of already mentioned this, but even though seasonings are readily available on the market, you just need to know what's in your cooking. And these are definitely clean and unprocessed. And the convenience. Gina and I were just talking about this, because I'm going to tell you a secret now. Gina doesn't really use oils in her cooking and baking because she doesn't really bake, she says. Although I was at her house the other day and she did me some banana bread and it was amazing. So I think that qualifies as baking, Gina.
Yeah.
They're so convenient. I mean, I don't know. Some of you may have amazing gardens. I know Mary Tishy does, if anybody knows her. But I don't have all the herbs readily available in my garden. I can't keep them alive, and my dog digs stuff up, apparently. So if you don't have basil at hand, if you don't have rosemary at hand, or even, you know, the mints and everything that you may require for cooking, cardamom, marjoram, then use your oils, all right? But we're going to talk you through this presentation on how to do that, because you don't want to just be doing Paige's boyfriend's technique of shaky, shaky. You do want to really be measuring and being careful.
And I do use them. It's not like I don't. I use them out of convenience, like Bex said, when I don't have basil, or when I don't have time, or when I don't, time. But but Bex definitely has some more recipes that she uses, so we can all learn. You can always get better.
That's it. It's always a good benchmark, Gina. Okay, so I guess I spend my days convincing people that yes, cooking with essential oils is absolutely safe. I mean, if you think about it, it's been used across cultures and centuries worldwide for years, all right? And just because the essential oils are more potent and concentrated wouldn't mean that it's not safe. So we will discuss safety as we move through this, but just know that with a little bit of common sense, using essential oils in your cooking and baking is a phenomenal idea. we actually already consume them in our regular diet, just because the foods that we're eating include plants and seeds and different extracts. It's just that using essential oils takes it to that next level of purity. It's completely safe, and it's completely safe and above organic quality, and has all the added health benefit. I don't know. I hear crazy things like people will see, oh, you know, if you use lemon oil on an old dry erase board to get the marker off, and you know, it cleans it up straight away, and everybody's always amazed. And they'll say, oh my goodness, why would you put that then in your body? Obviously it's very, very harmful and strong and potent. I'm like, well, I feel like you're looking at it from a different angle. It's incredibly powerful and incredibly cleansing. So essential oils are really powerful, but they're incredibly familiar to our body as well, because they're coming from a living entity. Our body recognizes it and uses it very quickly and metabolizes it in our system. So don't worry again about the potency of these oils and the power of them, and using them in your cooking and baking, because I'm sure we all put lemon in our water and we don't worry at all. So it's no different for baking. And then the FDA, which is interesting, I thought, because we operate outside FDA guidelines, but the FDA created a generally recognized as safe list to be used in consumption. And Gina's going to go through these next couple of lists with us. But so this actually came from the FDA. I just found that fascinating, don't you, Gina?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Absolutely. And I wonder what year they created this list. I think it's been around for a long, long time. But on the note of lemon oil, because I used to think the same thing, because I don't know if some of you have heard the story of, if you put the lemon oil in your plastic water bottle, it will eat away petrochemicals, right? And I used to think, wow, that's pretty crazy. But then I thought of it in a positive way, as that it's breaking down the petrochemicals in our body as well and flushing them out. So I actually think that's, you know, a really positive thing.
Right.
All right. So the oils generally regarded as safe for internal use. And I'm not going to read all of these, but you can look at them, and also remind you that on each bottle is supplemental facts if it is recommended safe use for internal use. So it's right there on the bottle. If you ever have any questions of whether I should use this in my cooking, look right on the bottle. If it doesn't have the supplemental facts, then that just means that it's not recommended for internal use because it may upset your stomach. I mean, and I think there's another slide. Okay, here it is. So plants, because these come from plants and trees, oils that are not advised for use internally and for cooking. You will notice that most of these oils are wood tree oils. And, you know, I always make this note with my customers, is that you're not going to go and like eat a piece of bark or eat, you know, like some roots out of the ground. Like typically you don't just go and, I mean, roots, never mind, you can. But like I'm thinking a big tree root for some, you know, like bark or a leaf. Like you just don't normally do that. That's not, I mean, I guess some leaves like bay leaves are, no, you can't even eat a bay leaf. Never mind. So anyway, you see my point, that these are mostly trees and they are not recommended for internal use because they can upset your stomach. It's not going to kill you, but you might not feel that great. So it's good to know why, you know, why it's not recommended for internal use.
Yeah. And Gina, about that as well, the one oil though that and you wouldn't use this in cooking at all. Well, I wouldn't. But the one oil that doesn't appear on either list that jumps out to me is tea tree.
Mm-hmm.
And moons ago, tea tree was called Melaleuca, and Melaleuca was recognized as safe to use internally. This is kind of a side note, guys. This is not actually anything to do with cooking. I don't recommend you do like tea tree brownies, because I'm quite sure that wouldn't taste good. But Emily Wright, she actually said that they've changed the labeling of the bottle to tea tree to make it more universally recognized. And she's always used the Melaleuca/tea tree internally and will continue to do so. And that if she ever stopped for any reason, she would let us know. It's something that I use internally a lot, especially if there's any kind of coughs, colds, flus, that kind of thing. I always immediately, tea tree is one of my go-tos. So just a side note, that is the only oil that I personally know of that, even though it doesn't say supplement on the bottle, I do actually use it internally.
Yeah, and it did used to say supplemental facts on it.
Yeah, it did.
And I agree with Bex. I use that internally, especially when I have a big threat, like a flu or any bacteria or virus.
Yeah, viral. Like if you've got a really big nasty scar, not a scar, but a wound or something, that's definitely something, amongst other oils, that I would be using internally. You guys can always reach out to us. Did you want to mention the quality, Gina? I know everybody knows, but just in case, just the difference between doTERRA versus everything else.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, when we talk about, using essential oils in our cooking and in our water, we are talking about doTERRA essential oils because we know the amount of testing and stringent, requirements they have for quality. And so we always want to make sure, especially because this is recorded and people will watch this later, that we remind you that you have to be careful what you're putting in and on your body, whether it's oils or whether it's, I don't know, some foods they put on the market for us. You have to know where it's coming from and what the quality is. And these oils have been tested by outside sources several times in the process before they're put in the bottles, after they are put in the bottles. And this is why researchers will use these oils, because they say that they know they're getting the same oil every time. It's the same quality. It's not, because when you are researching, you have to have a controlled process, right? So they know that they're going to get the same oil, the same quality every time, the same purity. So, I mean, it's why doTERRA began, is because the owners could not find oils that they were completely satisfied with as far as quality and purity. And so that's how this company began. And that's always been their standard, and they will never stray from that. So
yeah, they'll never budge. I love it. I really do. So with that said, just to reiterate, and you guys all know us, but
sorry,
everything, just a little flash forward there. Here's what you could have won. Everything that we're saying relates to doTERRA essential oils and not the oils that you can pick up at Sprouts. So just remember that, and we will move on with the presentation. So the best practices for cooking with essential oils. Here's a few things that you want to kind of bear in mind before you get started in whipping stuff up. So if you're cooking something that requires a lot of heat for a prolonged period of time, you might want to check into how that oil was distilled and pulled from the plant initially. If it was steam distilled, the constant heat from like boiling a pot of stew or a soup or something like that, it may reduce the potency and therefore the flavor of the oil, because it's going to kind of re-distill it, if you will. It's just going to reduce it down. So when adding an essential oil to a hot dish, the steam may reduce the potency depending on how the oil was initially extracted from the plant. With this in mind, consider adding oils to an almost complete dish, or even once you've moved it off the hob. So I, for example, will make a ginger and lentil and tomato soup. And I no longer buy ginger and peel it and mess around with that. Good Lord. I just use my ginger oil. But I've got to tell you that a little bit does go an incredibly long way. And I've ruined pots of soup because I put too much in. But that's because I always put my ginger in later. Potentially, if I put my ginger in a little bit earlier, it would probably just reduce it down. So that's a good thing to keep in mind, is if you put too much oil in, maybe just keep it cooking for a bit longer and it'll reduce the flavor a little bit. All right, next one, Gina.
So I was curious because well, we'll talk about it later. Never mind. Okay.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So the next thing to pay attention to would be the cookware that you're using. So be sure that you're using stainless steel, glass, or ceramic, because essential oils can damage the plastic. So Gina just mentioned this about the lemon oil. Essential oils are so powerful that they will break down the plastic. And so you want to be using things like stainless steel or glass so that the oils can safely be used, and that basically the contents of your, like what your container is made of, is not going to seep into your food.
Hey, I have a side note. Side note on this. It is very important, actually, essential oils aside, for your health to like choose a healthy cookware. And so the non-stick cookware is not the best for your
just
health.
discovered this. That breaks my heart. I know I turfed all my stuff out this summer.
Yeah, and especially if you have any cuts in it where the chemicals can seep out into your food. So you really, if you can, and sometimes, obviously non-stick cookware is amazing, easy, but it's not the best. And, way back in when they used the, what is that? Oh my gosh. The big, heavy cookware.
Yeah.
Teflon?
No, the big, heavy.
Oh, cast iron.
Cast iron. Thank you.
Cast iron?
The big, heavy. Okay.
The big,
That is heavy.
Yeah. I mean, that is, it's actually really good for you. And you get iron from that into your diet, which is healthy for us. But anyway, that was my side note. Just, if you can switch out your non-stick for, and it can be a little more challenging, but it's better doing the long.
I know. I got these cute little saucepans a couple of years ago with Teflon coating, and and they have a circle in the middle. They get hot, and it shows when it's hot enough. Genius, bloody brilliant. No idea that it was bad for me. Oh. So this summer I just turfed it all out, and I just got myself a nice set of just stainless steel pots. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've never scrubbed as much in my life, but hey ho.
But you can use your oils to scrub them, right?
Yeah. Well, yes, Gina. Yes.
Lemon oil will dissolve.
Lemon oil definitely helps, but okay. Yes. Anyway, let's not hear about my woes in the kitchen. Let's hear about my cooking in the kitchen. So the next thing that you all need to be very familiar with is the toothpick method. All right. This allows you to add the smallest amount of oils to a dish. So, for example, the toothpick method basically is you get a toothpick and you put it into the top of the oil bottle where the dropper is, and just pull it out again, and it will actually have a decent amount of oil on it. And then just put that toothpick in the spaghetti sauce or whatever it is that you're cooking. Do this method specifically for these oils that are in the purple side there: clove, cassia, cinnamon, thyme, and oregano. My personal experience with oregano has never been good when cooking. I'm just going to say it. But the thing is, I don't have the time to master this skill, because normally I'm cooking, the kids are annoying me. I don't have time to make a whole new pot of bloody tomato sauce for the pasta, so I'm like, well, great, that's ruined. So
well, you can always add more, right? You can always
add more. Yeah, but it's so potent, the oregano, I find in the cooking, that it almost tastes bitter. So really, really use the tiniest bit and just add it very gradually.
Yeah.
And then tell me how you did it, because I have not had success with oregano.
Yeah. Well, and it's a great general rule for cooking with all, because I know people who have ruined peppermint brownies because of too much peppermint. So I think it's just a good general rule to the toothpick method. Yes.
Yeah.
The toothpick method is very effective. I was over visiting Sandy a couple weeks ago, and she's like, Chris, I got ginger essential oil. And I'm like, ginger? And like, that's not an oil that you would think of, but I had just picked up a ginger coconut refresher, I don't know, whatever it was, and I'm like, Sandy, you should try this. And she goes, speaking of ginger. And so she did the toothpick method, and I'm like, this is brilliant, because it was a lot in my mouth just from that little dip.
Yeah,
it was really effective.
And you know what I just love is that she's baking while we're talking about baking. Like,
Right? What oils are you doing, right?
Am I making too much noise?
No, it's
because I'm
chopping. We'll tell you if you are.
All right, thank you.
All right. So the next slide, I think, is pretty handy. If you can take a screenshot of this, you might want to. So knowing your conversions. And anybody who knows me knows I do not measure. I just don't measure. I know I should.
Yeah, you have.
Here are some ideas for measuring your oils. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but these are equivalent to 1 drop. So just bear that in mind. So 1 drop of basil is around a teaspoon of basil. All right. So just think about that when you're adding things to your oils.
Yes.
Julian. Hi, everybody. Somebody's saying, I think it might be Sandy. I'm not sure.
I think it's Sandy. She just texted me and said she's jumping on.
She must be on a break. She's working, bless her. So this is just a really good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah,
but look how much stronger oregano is.
Yeah.
Compared to most of the others, like so 1 drop is worth 2 tablespoons compared to most of the others, which are only worth 1. Lemongrass is incredibly concentrated as well, but I don't find that when I cook with lemongrass that it ruins a dish. So if I use too much lemongrass on my chicken, so I'll do lemongrass, regular lemon, ginger, and I'll soak my raw chicken in that with some olive oil and not soak it. What do you call that? Marinate. Sorry.
Marinate, yeah.
Good
That
Lord.
sounds good.
Soak my chicken. That's terrible. That I'm not a chef apparently. And if you use too much lemongrass, the flavor is just incredibly strong, but it doesn't ruin it. Whereas I feel like with oregano, you can really spoil a dish if you use too much. So really err on the side of caution with oregano. I feel like I've said that enough now.
You have, but you can also see like the cinnamon and the cassia. 1 drop is equal to 2 tablespoons. Like that's
what?
Hot.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Cinnamon, yeah. So anyway.
Oh yeah,
Love
cinnamon is hot and it's really intense. Side note, I once decided I was going to put some oils on pre-workout, and I did. I mean, silly girl. I got some fractionated coconut oil and I did like a drop or 2 of cinnamon and a drop or 2 of lemongrass and smothered my body in it. Oh, sweet Lord. I was bright red. I was bright red.
From the lemongrass, right?
I looked like somebody had slapped me all over. Like I was bright red. I mean, I still went and worked out and I smelled amazing. A little potent. And I had to wear long sleeves and long pants because I was so embarrassed.
Oh, no.
And a turtleneck. No, I have a story about cinnamon too, because I love cinnamon. Like it's just one of my favorite scents. And I remember the first time I got my cinnamon bark oil and I opened it up and I was like, oh, I just wanted it all over me.
Oh, no.
I put it on and I was like, ooh. So some fractionated coconut oil fixed that up, but yeah. So
and a lot of fractionated coconut oil. It's not like a little bit will work. Like with cinnamon, you're applying fractionated coconut oil for a good 10 minutes. Like you're not going to come to any harm. It's just. Well, I don't know. I make my living telling people how amazing these oils are. Then I'm walking out like I've been slapped all over. Oh no, it was not a good day for sales. Put it that way.
That's how we learn, though, right? We only do it once.
And then and at least we have these stories to tell, so that's good.
Exactly.
I feel like with the application that you did on your skin with the lemongrass, and then you going to the gym and working it out, wouldn't that intensify the oil? Because lemongrass is really potent, needs to be used with a carrier oil, which you did. But when you're sweating, wouldn't that intensify it?
Well, it had already metabolized by that point, in all honesty. I did it because I have to drive to the gym as well.
Gotcha.
So I probably did it like 30, 40 minutes before I was even working out, but my skin was still red.
Gotcha.
It was hilarious. But that's the idea of using oils before you work out, is it actually encourages oxygenation in the muscles and things like that, and it can actually aid your recovery. So it's a really good idea to apply oils before you work out, just not lemongrass and cinnamon.
I don't know. Lemongrass is like my go-to for pain. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good for pain. All right. Ooh, we're going to get into our recipes now.
Yeah, so if you want to grab your phones, ladies, and get ready to start doing some screenshots, we've just kind of got here now just loads of recipes. We're not going to read through them all. Maybe if one jumps out to us, but we're just going to kind of flow through them. Is that right, Gina?
Yeah. And I'll also actually, excuse me. After I stop screen sharing, I'll post a couple links, and if you guys want to, if you click on, you guys probably know this, but if you click on the link that's in the chat, it will open it on your computer. I guess it will do it on your phone too, but you know, then you can keep it open if you wanted to. But there's a couple links with more recipes for you guys, and so here we go. Oh, wait, why is it not letting me?
I don't know.
Here we go.
Maybe. Ooh, this one's you, Gina.
Yeah, and you know, this is how I first started using oils in cooking. Was I wanted to make like a dipping sauce for bread, and I didn't have the fresh oregano, and I didn't have the fresh parsley, or wait, not parsley, I don't have that one, fresh basil, thyme. So this was one of the first ones I tried, and it's really nice. I mean, you have to, you know, mix it around, so you making sure you're and you do that anyway, I guess, when you're dipping with your bread, you're mixing it all around. So I love that, again, the convenience of, like Beck said, I can't grow all these herbs and keep them alive and, you know, keep the like rabbits from eating them in my backyard or whatever. So it is so nice. I'm all about easy. So I love that you can make this almost all, you know, it has thyme, rosemary, basil, oregano. We have all those oils, so
it's so good.
Yeah.
Parts of the slide didn't.
Show anyway.
Shows it anyway. Come on now, guys.
This one I thought looked really delicious, and I didn't put a picture because I wanted to make it big enough for you guys to screenshot, but pineapple nectarine salsa with lime and cilantro oils. So more of a summer recipe, but there you go. And what was I going to say? Oh my gosh. Brain fart. Totally forgot. Anyway, there you go. Lime and cilantro. This was yours.
Oh yeah, mini pumpkin pies. It's a very detailed slide there, lots of information. Feel free to screenshot it, but basically the oils that you'd be using here would be clove, ginger, and then either cassia or the dreaded cinnamon. Do not put it on your body. But just a cute little way to make mini pies, especially now we're in fall and approaching Thanksgiving, which now I feel like a full-on American, because we absolutely do Thanksgiving and pumpkin pie, which still plays tricks on my brain. But there you go.
Oh, this is so cute. You put it in a muffin tin.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yum.
Right?
Like
I know. I might potentially do this with the kids.
Yeah. Oh, cute. And you know, I've started to make my own crusts, and it's, you know, it's a little bit labor intensive, but
oh really?
Yeah.
Gina.
I do bake.
She does bake, guys. She does.
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
Love it.
This one was yours.
Right. This one caught my eye, and honestly there's way more information that I couldn't squeeze on the slide, but you get the gist. rosemary zucchini fettuccine. Now, I don't have one of those fancy spiralizer things that you can zucchini your fettuccine your zucchini, but I know a lot of people do. But this has got my favorite oil in there, rosemary, and so I thought it was a good idea just to add. The image that it gave me, which I did not put on the slide, was amazing, and so I thought, yep, let's throw that up there. Just a great idea, you know, just a great way to be using your oils. And the next one, Gina, is my favorite thing ever, and I don't only do are you clicking it? I don't only do wild orange with whipped cream, but I also do wild orange in vanilla yogurt. So often whenever I'm teaching, if you've been to one of my oils classes in person, which would have to have been last year now, I will often put strawberries out and I'll do some vanilla yogurt, and I put maybe 4 or 5 drops of wild orange in there and mix it up. And everybody raves about it. Everybody loves it. And here this recipe is for whipped cream with wild orange, and it's just a nice way to add a little element of flavor to your cream or your yogurt as a little dipping sauce. It's amazing.
That sounds really, really good.
It's yummy.
I added this one because and I'm all about simple, but I added this one because, again, you can use it to make like a glaze over your cinnamon rolls. Oh my gosh, like how amazing. So butter, vanilla, wild orange, powdered sugar, whipping cream. Same sort of thing, but oh my gosh, if you guys haven't tried like wild orange in your water, so delicious.
It's so fresh as well. And just a little thing about this glaze that they're making here. So in the UK, we actually call this glaze, that's what we call icing. And so you get the powdered sugar with a little bit of water, and then I always put lemon in mine. It's so good. And then we get our cupcakes, which we call buns. So that's your bun and your icing in England. So if you ever go to an English tea party or an English birthday party for kids, you'd get your bun and your bun and your icing, and that's kind of what it would look like. That's our version of a cupcake.
I love it. And you know, that really, it does look like icing on there. Like a glaze is normally a little thinner, I think, but that does look like icing for sure.
Yeah, we don't do the icing like you guys do. We do, it looks like a glaze. It's super thin. Gotcha. And like if you slice it, it would like crunch.
Oh.
Yeah. Ooh. I know. So when I came here, I was like, wow, what's all this? You know?
All right. There's all the ways you can use wild orange. Okay, so then here were some cookie ideas, and I thought these were, you know, simple cookies, which again, I love simple. So snickerdoodles with cinnamon, ginger snaps with ginger, obviously.
Oh, look at that peppermint one. Oh my.
And then peppermint and chocolate, of course. Oh my gosh, yum, with the candy cane crust, like crunched up.
I have to say, I make double chocolate chip peppermint crunch brownies every year at Christmas. I'll get you some, Gina. And they're like doorstops. They're so big when I make them. They're so good. And I always put peppermint in there, and then I crush up the candy canes and bake that in there as well. Oh, sweet Lord.
Wow.
And it's like nearly time to do it. Woohoo!
I know. Maybe you could share that recipe with us someday.
Yeah.
All right. Then I put a couple different teas, and then we'll have some cocktails as well. But
that looks yummy.
Yeah. So cardamom, cinnamon, black pepper, wild orange, your tea, water, obviously, and then some milk or a sweetener of your choice. So I thought that was a really yummy idea.
Yeah. I'm going to my friend's after this to pick up my kids, and she's Indian, and she makes her own chai tea. But I might take my oils over and see if she fancies giving it a go with these, see if we can figure it out.
And black pepper is really, really good for you. Really, really good for your cells and stuff. And what I recommend is putting the oils in first, and then pouring your liquid in, because sometimes, you know, if you put them on the top, they just kind of sit on the top. So
yes, like an oil slick, they do. You're right.
yeah,
You get a little mustache when you drink it, and it's like your lip gets numb. Not your nip, your lip.
yes.
Here's my pie, you guys.
Oh my gosh, that's your crust.
Again?
That's my crust.
Yeah, you're doing a homemade crust too.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so there's chai tea. What else did I find? Ooh, this one sounds really yummy to me. Golden milk. So
Golden milk is delicious.
yeah, turmeric, cinnamon, ginger, coconut oil, and honey.
Wow.
I mean, I guess you could use coconut milk instead of coconut oil.
Right? I don't know.
Yeah. Sounds really good.
All right, now we're getting on the next slide. We're getting on to my kind of cup of tea, in all honesty.
Ah!
Woo! All
Brandy?
right.
Lavender.
The
Ooh.
lavender French 75. Yum! So champagne or Prosecco, gin, which, yes, we know Bax loves her gin.
Yeah.
Lavender, lemon simple syrup, sprig of lavender for, looks. But so this requires making a lavender lemon simple syrup, which I guess I should have included that recipe. That would have been a really good idea.
Yeah, kind of, because now I'm wondering.
Yeah. Well, simple syrup is just water and sugar, right? And then you add your oils. Yeah.
You slow boil it with the herb. Yeah.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, and again, I would probably, well, actually, and this is what I do with my bath. So if I was going to mix sugar, what I would do is mix the sugar with the essential oils, so the sugar gets, the essential oils kind of dissolve into the sugar, and then I would boil it. So that's how I would.
That's a really good idea, because that way then it distributes rather than, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then it's more integrated into the simple syrup, and that's how I do with my bath. Like my Epsom salts is I put the oils in the Epsom salt, so it disintegrates into the Epsom salt, and then I put it in the bath, so it's not floating on top. So.
Oh, do you do that like in a glass jar in your bathroom, like it's always there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, honey, I've never done that.
Or I just do it, if I don't have any readily made, and I want different oils, I just take like a measuring cup of the Epsom salt and put the oils into the Epsom salt, kind of like mix it up with my finger and just kind of distribute it in the Epsom salt.
Oh, I'm going to do that, because I have a glass jar that I only do lavender and melaleuca or tea tree in the baths. And so,
yeah.
Oh, so I should just put it in. I didn't know this. Thank you, love.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, I taught Beck something.
Always.
Cucumber, basil, black pepper martini.
This sounds fancy. Like this, I feel like campfire would do, or some kind of little fancy eatery, right?
Yes, right? Vodka, your simple syrup, black pepper, basil. Yeah, I think that sounds really good. And refreshing. Anything with cucumber is refreshing too.
Yeah, definitely. This is you, Gina. This is all you.
I do like my whiskey. So yes, blackberry, ginger, whiskey sour. Wow. Blackberries, bourbon, lemon simple syrup with your lemon oil, 1 drop of ginger, lemon slice, rind for garnish. How fun. It is always fun to make a homemade cocktail. Like if you're having a dinner party, just make one special one that everyone can try. Yes.
Right. Tell them there's oils in there or not.
Yeah.
Until afterwards, if they're a naysayer, tell them after.
Right. Yeah. They'll be like, that simple syrup was delicious.
You're like, I know, made it myself.
I think that's the end.
That is the end. It didn't come up there, and you guys know me and my love for gin. And so I always put lime in my gin, lime oil. And I put the lime in first, then the crushed ice, give it a little jiggle, and then go ahead and make my gin on top of there. And sometimes I'll do the toothpick method with ginger in there as well. Ginger and lime gin. Woo-hoo! It's amazing.
Wow. That sounds really good. And tell them about your olive oil that you have.
Oh yeah, let me grab it. Hang on. So.
Ooh, and while she's grabbing it, I don't know if any of you guys have celery seed, or if anybody is into the whole celery juice thing and how cleansing that is. But last year at convention, they came out with celery seed oil. So I use that in my water when I kind of want to cleanse. Instead of, I've tried to juice celery and it didn't work for me. And then you
A lot
can
of
buy
effort,
it.
right?
You can buy it, but also if you have your oil, you have like celery seed for months. Celery juice for months. Yeah.
And you do not need a lot of it. Like,
No.
just use maybe 1 drop. And I would like maybe add it to a smoothie, but 1 drop, because it's so powerful. It's very potent and it's very impactful of flavor, isn't it, Gina? Like, it's like, woo.
Yeah, and I actually like it. But you could
You
also,
do? Okay.
yeah, but you could mix a drop of lemon in there too. So then it's more lemon celery with some like Himalayan salt too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yum.
a little cocktail.
So here is, I picked this up from, the Target, like $1, $2, $3 section. And this is just olive oil that I have in here. It's just like a ceramic olive oil pourer. And then I put pretty much half of my lemon oil bottle, maybe not half, but probably a good 30, 40 drops in there as well. And I just keep adding more olive oil to there. So obviously it's getting less lemony now. But this is the oil, whenever I'm doing veggies or anything, like, this is the oil I use all the time. And so I'm constantly getting, basically my olive oil is infused with lemons. It's brilliant. But I just have it ready-made, ready to go. I used to have it in a spray bottle with the olive oil and then the lemon and ginger. But the spray bottles get stuck because of the actual olive oil. So I just was like, I just need to drizzle. And so I just saw this and picked it up, and it's perfect.
Yeah. And you could actually make like a dipping sauce in there too. You could put some, like oregano and thyme and rosemary in there.
Ooh,
like make a different version, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. If I could get a couple more of these, because they're cute to leave out on your counter as well. They look cute.
Ooh, good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
That's us done for today, right, Gina?
That is. Do we have any questions or anybody who wants to share how they've used essential oils? Because we give prizes.
Well, I always put them in my water. I love lemongrass, peppermint, sometimes just lemon, and grapefruit. Grapefruit is really nice in my water.
Yes.
I've used rosemary and to make I like Beck's does that she puts it in her olive oil. I like to add rosemary and saute my potatoes in it. It's really tasty with a little bit of dill.
What a great idea.
That's really nice. And I've used the oregano and the thyme and what else? In my soups and stews. Yeah, it's very nice.
So nice to have everything on hand and you can just use it. It's awesome, especially now we're getting into soups weather, right? Everybody's going to be cooking up those soups.
Yeah.
I'm so
well, and also, it's nice to use the fresh herbs, but you need a lot of herb to get that flavoring that, the oils are so potent. So you don't need a whole lot to get a lot of flavor.
Yeah, and honestly, sometimes, like Sandy, just to jump on the back of that, the herbs often will add color. And so I don't think you need to not use herbs, because honestly, the botanical has benefits as well as the essential oil. So I'm quite sure using them synergistically would be a really good idea. Just make sure that you adjust the amounts that you're putting in, because I still love to use herbs in my cooking. I do. I like to, if I've got a sprig of basil, or I'll go get it and I'll throw it in. But depending on how long I'm cooking it for, and I just want to add a little flavor at the end, you can just do that toothpick method with your basil oil and just really kind of give that burst of flavor. But yeah, it is great to use herbs still.
Yeah, no, I agree. The combination is,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to post those couple links that I had. Oh my gosh, my dog is down here. Like, she wants to pet her and pet her. So this one is, I will put, oh shoot, wait. I will put one that's doTERRA's favorite salsas, dips, hummus, sauces, and spreads. So that was a really
extremely potent.
Oh.
what was that? So wait, how do I do it? Where's the chat? Here we go. I got it. So if anyone wants to, and I can also post these on in our groups. But yeah, that one has some really yummy ideas. And then this one, well, this was just some of the basics. No, so that one's not as exciting. Never mind. But you know, if you just Google cooking with doTERRA essential oils, you'll find lots of different ideas.
Yeah, you can find lots of stuff. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you for joining us.
Yes.
That was a quick one. It was a good one.
Yes. And next week we are going back to the basics, Essential Oils 101. So if you have anyone who is interested in, you know, just learning a little more about essential oils, invite them. We're going to post the information soon, but we wanted to plug it to you guys. Always the same link, so you know you can just share it with your friends. We're we don't change it up. Yeah, so we're going to start with back kind of on some of the stuff we've done and some different stuff, but starting back at the beginning again for our new people, our newer people, and anyone who wants to learn more.
That's it. Honestly, I will generally teach the same 101 class over and over and over. And I have certain friends who, they support me in what I do, but as well, they actually enjoy coming and they obviously get freebies. So they're all about it. But they always say they learn something new every time. And I'm like, really? I feel like I say the same thing. And they're like, well, maybe you do, but you know, the human brain can only take in so much information at one time. And so listening to what may be the same information, although I doubt me and Gina will come up with the same stuff because we're always off on tangents. But listening to the same kind of basic information over and over, you're always going to pull something new from it. Or because you have experience now, you'll be able to apply what we're saying differently. So it's
absolutely I agree, because I learn something new almost every time as well. So
yeah, me too
right.
So brilliant. All right, guys, well, it's always a pleasure. We'll see you next Saturday.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You
Thanks,
too.
Gina.
Thank you. Have a lovely weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.